guys, welcome back to the channel. Right here, 1957, I think. Oval. Yes, it has been on channel before, and no, it's not on here for something as, you know, I effed up. If you remember, or if you've watched this channel, this car's been on it before, and we ended up doing all the electrical, getting it all sorted out, headlights, blinkers, so on and so forth. With that said, car has been, well, reliable on that end. It's been reliable on the mechanical side too. I didn't do anything with the engine or anything like that. It sounded good. I gave it an okay bill of health. Because if you watch this, the car was going right back to the body shop after I was done with it, due to the fact that it was, well, not really cared for. Best way I could put it. So it's had a couple panels repainted, so on and so forth. Car looks great again, or looks like it should of the first time he got it. But with that said, the reason it's here is I do have to go through the engine, move some fuel lines, clean it up, so on and so forth. Nothing major, no dramatic changes, because like I said, the car is running, it is driving fine. He has put some miles on it, so that's great. I do have a honey-do list. What do I actually have to do? Move fuel filter, yeah, that's engine. Mount the horn, wipers. I got to do some things with the wipery things. Adjust the heater cable, see if I can get them to work, because they're working all the time now. Like I said, engine, and button up this door. Apparently, well, it's blown apart. I got to put it back together. Oh, and the reason for this episode, put a front beam on it. He has a 2-inch narrowed spindle beam, disc brake converted already, so on and so forth. We're gonna get that thing in this, and then yeah, that is the plan for right now. We're gonna put a beam in the car. I think the 68 gear, we've already put a beam in the car on this channel, but that was a standard beam. This is a drop adjuster beam. I am rambling. Let me drag that thing. It's sitting over there somewhere. Let me put it on a skid, drag it in front of the car, and start tearing this thing apart. Or actually, we'll just start tearing this thing apart. Let me get some flashlights, some screwdrivers, and a couple ratchets, and start tearing this thing apart. Sounds like a plan. I don't think I need to do it clears. I don't think I need to do anything up here. I might, depending how much fuel's in it, drain the gas tank. I can't see in there, but I might drain the gas tank. Usually I winch them up. This I don't think I'm going to be able to. It would help. I don't know. We'll plan. We'll make plans. You know, cross our T's and dot our lowercase J's when this bridge shows up for passing. Join me in a second. Guys, I don't think I need to show this for you, because most likely you figured this step A, or number 1 out already by yourself. But we'll take off the wheels. Not for nothing, we'll lighten the load. I'm curious if they fit the disc brakes. They should. But again, if you've watched this channel enough, you know, I like developments, and nothing goes easy, even the easy things. Put that there so I can lose it. Put this over there so I can lose it. And because these lug nuts are no longer important because that beam's studded, we'll, oh yeah, I did go through this car. The cotter keys that are on it, car didn't have any. I'm happy that we're at this point that I'm now taking this car apart and, well, I get to undo all my work. Should have just left it ruined or broken so that, oh, I'm stuck. Should have just left it ruined or not correct so it'd be easier on me. All right, I just noticed something because it's glaringly in my face and I don't think I have it on the other video. If it was even there, and just judging on it, I think it was there. Give me a second, let me grab a light. Like I said, this car just got back from the body shop. He did put some miles on, so on and so forth. But one thing I just noticed, of course we're stainless. Where can I put this? Hold please. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Those are cracks. And I can tell you, well, obviously it doesn't happen here, and it probably won't catch in the light, but I'll try to show shining. You can see inside the crack has clear. And that's an Audi. So something hit that, you know, this way. Went pink. But yeah, figure I get that on documentation. Oh, go the other way. Zooming. Not my strong suit. Yeah, it looks like an Audi. So like rock chip or something maybe. I can't tell back here. But yeah, like I said, it's walking past it right in my face. I was like, whoo! Obviously I didn't hit anything. We didn't go anywhere with it. And it's an Audi, not an any. So yeah. All right, I'll make him known about that. I doubt he's going back to his body shop to get it fixed. He's probably most likely going to live with it. I don't know. Speculation, of course. But when we do a battery change, I'll start tearing this beam out. Not to kick a horse when I'm down, or it's down, but I think I had this in the first video. Like I said, again, this came back from a body shop to get fixed for all the problems that was created to begin with. And, well, I don't know. I really don't know if this will pick up. But there was a scratch in this door. I don't know. I don't know how well it's picking up, but it looks like they started to do like a spotting. You can tell it's sanded. There's a scratch still. Yeah, they like I said, I don't know how well it's picking up, but it's clear as day to me sitting there. Shit, that color change. It looks like they tried to sand it. I don't know if it's picking up again, but it looks like they tried to sand it, polish it, but you can tell there's the scratch. It's a different color, the touch up, and then yeah, all the sand work. Again, like I said, I'm not saying. Well, I'm pointing out these flaws. I don't know the body shop that did this work. But I'm pointing these things out as in someone took their money to correct their mistakes and couldn't even do that. Well, they took the money to make it non-mistakeful, and then when they go to rectify their mistakes, they couldn't do that. Yeah, I don't know how else to put that. People piss me off nowadays. They really do. I like value for money. I really do. And this isn't supposed to be a rant, but it really is. It's like this thing. When I was at the other shop, getting it put together, no cotters, and hell, they didn't hook up the speedometer cable. And I know that because that's my cotter. And you can go back in the video. All right, let me do what I said I was going to do. Let me round up some tools and let's start tearing this beam out. All right, guys, my favorite type of filming. Places you can't see. So again, like I normally do, I'll try to Bob Ross this and, you know, paint you a pretty little picture of what the hell I have going on in here. First thing, is that better? Maybe, sort of, for you. Anywho, first thing I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna break the brake lines loose so that, well, they can drain and make a mess all over the place while I while I struggle getting this beam out. Also, let's do the right thing, get a rag. Because it'll make a mess. Looking at the system already, I can tell you I'm probably going to have to run, or not really looking at the system, looking at the brake lines themselves. Condition-wise, if you guys can get in there some. The front to rear, wherever the hell that is, right about here. You probably can't see it. That is, move your leg, move your other leg, move legs. That is in sketchy condition to the point where most likely what's going to happen is I'm going to try to bend it because this is getting a dual master cylinder. I'm going to try to bend it, it's going to break, and I'm going to be very mad and have to run an entire front to rear line. With that said, I don't mind doing it. It's just a pain in the butt because this car is in great condition. Pliers. I'll use some gender neutral. Oh, pliers. Oh. Get the spring clip off and then see if I can suck that line through so it can drain on the floor. There you go. Pull that. Pull that. And then, like I said, I'll just... I don't mind making lines. You've probably seen me do it plenty of times on this channel. So it's not really like a big thing to me. I just don't like doing it. And I really hate doing front to rear lines in coupes or, you know, stuff with roofs. Due to the fact that, oh, floor dry. Due to the fact that access is easy and fun. All right, this spindle is free. Let me free up the other one real quick from its brake line, and I'll be right back and we'll start taking some other stuff apart. All right, guys. Well, I'll bring you in a second. Next step for my next trick. Ow, okay, that hurt. For my next trick, like I was saying, the right side tie rod has to come off. We can leave the left side attached because it's going to come with the beam. Unfortunately, you can't leave the right side attached because, well, it'll hit the front frame horn. So hopefully this cooperates. There, I did bring it. And I'm already working like a sucker. Where's some pissies? Pissy guns over there. I need an attachment. Zoop! That was surprisingly tight, I guess enough. Ow! Shit. Fun magic tool. I'm not even worried about this tie rod. I say that, but I'll still put the damn nut on it. Let's get this thing ran on. It would help if I had it on the right adjustment point. Amateur hour. Get that with a wiggle and a jiggle, and a jiggle and a wiggle. See how well this cooperates. Not bad. All right, pop that one. Let's go to the other side. All I'm doing is, like I said, we're removing the right side tail thing. Tie rod. Of course, you're not going to turn. I am not that strong. I can tell you I was under the car when I put these cotters in, just on the direction and the way that they are. Yep. That's tighten. That's loosen. That would have. Ooh, that was almost a knuckle buster. I have it set up, I know. Let me just grab the damn thing. NASCAR. Put this on again. Put this somewhere so I make a trip hazard. And magic tool. Blink. Popped. Take that nut off. Come here. Yeah, like I said, these tie rods are shot. There's really no reason for me to even try to save them, but you know what? I'm not a maniac. I'm trying to save grace from the Volkswagen gods from cutting a heater exchange pipe off. Carefully fish this out. It's good. You know, I might have screwed up because I'm an honest person and generally think of myself as that. He's probably going to want to sell this beam. The reason I say that is, well, he asked me how much do I think the beam is worth, and I gave him, you know, an honest answer. I kind of want this beam. What in the string? For my gear. Yes, it's a Lacton luster. It's not a name brand. It's a home-built narrowed beam. But at the end of the day, it's a home-built narrowed beam, spindle to spindle. Even myself would have not a problem, but a time building this. Thing that sucks with steering shafts, well, not all, just this one in particular. Someone used chassis saver, which is, you know, lovingly coated all over the bolts or the threads. So I'm gonna struggle with this to get this thing off, and then I don't know, join me for the next thing. All right, guys, let's start getting this beam out. Oh, jeez. I'm gonna loosen all this hardware. We're not actually removing it. That was snug. that too was snug. We're not actually gonna take it out right now. and I think I said this, ooh, my nut cert looks good. Let me loosen that steering box. While I am here, it's probably gonna have to rotate. Maybe. I'd rather loosen it. I've had it, the boxes, well, you can't see. The steering boxes, if the beam has to come forward some to get off these step notches, I've had them hit the body. 2 bolts loosen it so it could semi-pivot. There is a pin in here, but it'll have enough jiggle wiggle. You don't actually have to remove it, I guess is what I'm getting at. I cannot remember what size it is. It's probably a 15. I lied. Is it a 17? Let's just grab the same wrench I just used. That's smart. I have a 19. It is smaller than that. All right, we are making progress. It should be 17. Yes. All right, let me grab a ratchet real quick. Clunk. The clunking means it's working. Move it. I just want it loose so it can jiggle and wiggle. You don't have to take everything out. But to make my life semi-easier, I'm going to do this. And with my luck, I'm going to have to remove this thing. So might as well have it loose to, you know, facilitate an easy removal. Oh, wow, you are stuck on there. It's more progress on beam extraction. What is that? Is a 17. I need a 19. What the hell? Could have sworn I brought a 19 over here already. One bolt. Two bolts. Now, the correct way to do this would be take these 4 bolts out and take the 2 on the top out and gently lower the beam down, just like that, in a crashing, banging motion. Problem being, I don't have 2 top studs. There's no holes, there's no provisions, there's no nothing for top studs. So we are gonna hopefully not kill myself or scratch the car up, put a vice grip on it, just to, you know, keep hopefully this beam here and not prematurely hit the floor. I'm gonna have a problem now because because I'm a smart and I have a power steering box in the way, or a power steering box, in the way. There we go. I like the way I clamp that one on that side, so let's just do the same thing on this side. Ow! They don't have to be nuts, they don't have to be that tight. That doesn't take off a bolt or take out a bolt. Like I said, there's still a chine in here, so all I'm doing is pressing this into the chine and hopefully not gonna have this thing fall out. Or at least, again, that is the plan. Right now, the only thing that's technically holding this beam up are these 2 grips. Box should come down. Steering, let's get that out of the way. What I mean by, let's turn that so the arm's not in the way and hitting the beam. Brake line's disconnected. All right, let's go down. Let's see how bad I did. And again, someone keeps binging me. Of course I want the locks. Because safety. I went up to go down and then I never went down. Now this is probably going to make a loud clunking banging sound like it's currently doing. Okay, perfect. Perfect. No, there was no damage done. Undid those, beam rotated. Well, it's out. Well, there's the top. Basically push rotated. The bottom is now back here. Top's down there. Lower the jack. Bob's your uncle. Beam's out. Da. Subtle. Get that out of the way. Get the car back up in here. Let's get that thing out of, let's get that out of the way. Oh, roll you onto here. Roll you onto here better, like more centered. Boop. One removed beam. I'm personally going to look at it to see if I even like it due to the fact that, well, it's a custom narrow job. It's not adjustable. So there's that. And if I like it, I'll keep it. Well, obviously I'll work on this owner with the price. But with that said, I don't know if see, I need to get top bolts. I do not have them. All right, guess morning time. Because it's running a little later than I expected. I got a late start today. We'll start putting a new beam in. But yeah, like I said, they're fairly simple. The removal on these things, installation is just the same. I think I did the, like I said, all that. And I'll go back and I'll be nice and I'll actually touch up the stuff that was never touched up. Because this is a nice car. You know, might as well take a little pride in it. Yeah, nice weld. None of this has been touched up or stuff like that. I'll spray bomb this just to black it out. A lot of work's gone on this car. You know, it's always that last 5%, that 5-10% that no one does. And I'm talking about like, come on. You knew that was bare. Paint that. That's not my connector. What was I gonna say? Yeah, join me in the morning. I think because I got so much free room for activities and access, we'll change out the master. I need to get the master. Why does that beam look like it's bent up? Oh. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It could be an optical illusion. But yeah, like I said, I gotta go get a master. Ow, shit. No, not the master. I have the master. I need to get a reservoir. I know one of my parts cars I have has what I need in it. It's a brand new dual reservoir top. So we'll leave a little tin in there so we don't have a hole, but you'll fill it from the bottom. And I gotta make a front to rear line. The interior, if you didn't see it, the interior of this thing is really, really nice. I don't want to tear it up, but unfortunately, I have to tear it up. Hopefully the carpets aren't glued down. Well, hopefully they're not glued down too well, because that'll open a can of worms. But anyway, join me tomorrow. I need to get some stuff and things because, like always, I plan everything out oh so well. And we'll get the new beam in. Like I said, it's sitting here. Spindle, disc brakes, so on and so forth. Everything is on it. I'm going to obviously go back and make sure everything is tight because, well, I didn't build the beam. From my understanding, the owner of this car got that beam off of the Samba for a killer price, and if he didn't buy it, I was going to buy it, to be honest with you, because the parts that are on that beam, including the beam, basically everything that goes into that beam, I could not have built it. Well, sorry, scratch that. Rewind. I could not have bought the parts for what he paid for the entire beam. Now, with that said, he couldn't buy the parts and say, pay me to assemble the beam for what that cost. So, I don't know if that makes any sense. It's a good buy, I guess, is what I'm getting at. But yeah, like I said, I got to do some running around, grab some parts or whatever, and we'll slam that thing in and get that all done. But I think my first thing I'll do in the morning is do the brakes. If you watch this channel long enough, you know how much I love brakes. I mean, this is a goes backwards. Anyway, side note, my you probably see it in the background, my 1948 Clark. His name's Norman, by the way. To that, the red cap. Yes, bougie. Yeah, the old Clark forklift. That thing's a beast. It actually runs. I got another one here. That's 67. That's a 48 or 47. Pretty sure it's a 48. 2-speed, kind of 4-speed. If you get 2 forwards and 2 reverses. I don't know, random stuff. But with that said, join me in the morning. I'm rambling. It's getting late. Getting dopey. I think we're gonna go to the bar and get a couple drinks. Probably not. Probably just gonna go to the bar and get a burger. We got a nice one of my favorite establishments here in Louisville. Has pretty solid bar food. Anyway, join me in the morning. Hopefully I'm not hungover. I will be hungover. It'll probably be the afternoon. All right, guys. World's best YouTuber here. I just recorded, I don't know, 15 minutes. Nothing major. Without realizing that my mic wasn't turned on or the receiver. Kind of typical stuff. Didn't make that much progress. Obviously, the beam's not in yet. But what I'm going to do is lines on the master are disconnected. I'm going to swap out the master real quick. It's hanging in the paint booth right now, just painted because it's gas, so I'd rather it not completely rust. Don't worry, it's a great color of white. Yeah, dries fast. You're not going to see it, I guess. It'll match the wheels. I mean, there's science involved. No, there's not. I'm going to see, I was able to bend the front to rear line. Actually be able to hook it to where I'm hoping I don't have to replace it. I'm going to replace the front two. The front two are a little knackered. One looked good, but, well, if I'm going to replace one, I'm going to replace both. Kind of the same thing with the rear. But that's if it blows up. Yeah, I know, I'd hate to go back and do it, but you know what, at the end of the day, if that line's good, I do not want to, well, rip the entire car apart to run the front to rear line. And I run new lines, front to rear. I don't like splice them in the middle, splice them to where, use a I see people use compression fittings. No, bad. If you flare them, and use a union, correct way. But yeah, compression fittings, no. Quit using the damn things. They're not for brakes. I don't care if they fit and they work, you hear, I've used it forever and never had a problem. Okay, until you do. Focus. Please. That's better. Anyway, So that's where I'm at. I'm going to drop the car. I'm going to do the swap out that master, and we'll be right back to where we are. Run brake lines or hook it up, and then there's beaming. I guess is the plan. Beam will be in. I hope. But yeah, seeing I have access right now, I'm just going to throw in the master. Going to sausage my way into the car, unbolt it, and just swap a new one in. There's no, only reason I'm also changing the master, I think I might have said this, is it's going to a dual master. So dual reservoir, dual master, whatever you want to call it. So it's going to have a front circuit and a rear circuit on this instead of running the single. You can run the single. I don't recommend it if you're going to do it, especially with disc brakes. Just run a dual. Yes, you might have to run lines. Whoopity-doo. But at the end of the day, it'd be it's safer, I guess is what I'm getting at. Single masters, there's really nothing wrong with them until there is. Kind of like a compression fitting. Trust me, it's not a panic sale. I still got a single master in my Gia. I could have did a dual. I had a dual. Had a problem bleeding it. I think I had a bad one where I screwed up, and I just put a single in, and it's been fine. So, I don't know. With that said, let me do what I was doing. I'm rambling. Well, welcome to the rambling channel, I guess is what I'm getting at. It's what I do a lot of. Again, no trick to taking these things out. There's 2 13s. Unbolt it, throw a new one in, hold your tongue in the right way, and hope Venus and Mars or what have you are in the right orientation for you to be able to bolt it back up. A lot of times what actually helps is if you throw the master in, put in, if you do have your hard lines still, loosely bolt them and it'll kind of hold in orientation. But seeing how we're converting from a single pot to a dual pot, yeah, nope, can't do that. So I'm going to struggle. Yeah, I'll be back in, well, next scene. Well, if I'm not back in the next scene, there's a problem. Someone else will be talking and bad news probably be delivered. I don't know. I'll be back. Master cylinder is going, swimmingly in the install. So far I had to run a die over the rear brake line. So it was threaded into the master, and I had to re-tap all the master holes because they seemed like they were done garbagely. So that's fun. Only to find out now that, well, this, if you didn't know, that's the brake, thingy. It's too far in. What you need, put it this way, you need to make sure that this is not engaging the master. So, when you move your pedal, you should feel a little bit of, click, 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 touchy, touchy kind of thing. Because if it's depressing, well, your brakes are going to stay on. So we're going to back this off, a blonde one, give or take, and put it back in. Yeah. Once that goes, then I can get the thing up in the air and I can run some front brake lines. Other than that, it's going easy. Yeah, fire solution. Be back. All right, guys, that took entirely too long. Fitting basically in, out, in, out, in, out, and there's on these, if you ever take them out, there's a pin that rides through, so the brake rod, so you have to align like 900 things. But anyway, rear brake line is attached. Hopefully it's fine. Like I said, this master, click, tight. That's all in. What I'm gonna do now, those are fine. Make front left and front right hard lines. Just gonna do all new. We're in here. Let's make it look good. I could reuse the old ones. I'm not going to. Like I said, I am taking a gamble on running the old one or the old front to rear, but it looks fine. It's not like it's rotted out or anything like that, and it was able to bend. Here's the thing: if it does happen to break, well, I'll cover the cost because why not? There's no reason to replace it currently. It's an old line, but I mean, hate to say it, use the old line. It is what it is, but like I said, it looks fine. It does have some rust to it, but nothing I'm concerned about. Anyway, I'll be right back. Let me bend up some lines, put them in, and well, we'll start, I guess, putting a beam together or up. Slow progress. I don't know. If anything, I might dwell on it and end up putting in the front to rear line, but as of right now, I don't see a reason. I don't know. It's eating at me. It eats at me. Stuff eats at me, knowing that something's good. And I preach this. Just, it's good. Leave it alone. You might open Aunt Dora's box. By me doing this, I might open Aunt Dora's box. So, like I said, if it holds, it's fine. I don't know. If you ever been me, my scenario, I want to replace everything, kind of like maybe some of you guys. But also, like I said, you replace something, we're right down the line, it might turn into bad. I do know that if I do have to go back and do one, it's not going to be that bad. I just really don't want to rip up the guy's interior if I don't have to. And like I said, all this looks fine. That's the only thing I touched. Usually when they blow out perfect. They blow out in the cab. So if that bent, we should be fine. I don't know. I'm justifying why I'm not doing it, even though it doesn't need to be done. All right, let me make hard lines. All right, one thing I am going to do while I'm here, and I'm making new hard lines anyway for this, is I'm going to bend these the brake tabs out some. I don't know if I stated this. It's a 2-inch narrow beam, but for purposes of line slack, I like to bend these brackets out more, just in case the lines that are supplied are, well, wrong. And seeing how I'm making these brackets, or making the lines anyway, I have room to where I can Z these and bend them kind of where I need them to be. Or not so much where I need them to be, where I would like them to be if I have to get in here. I need a smaller wrench. I just need another vice grip. Put them where I need them to be. And I'm back. I rather just, if you watch me do these cars, well, obviously if you're a regular on this channel, you know that none of these things go very, completely smooth. Mainly aftermarket parts, so on and so forth. But the thing is, if I have to move a line, I rather be, say ahead of the game because I'm bending these. And I rather, build it for the car that's going on. There. So yeah, so now if that brake cable is too short, it's not going to hyperextend it. I'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm obviously just doing this side. But like I said, seeing how I'm building this brake hose, I'll make it long enough for there so that we're not putting any stress on it. But let me end this. We're going to have to shorten it some. And I'll be right back. Slowly but surely. Like I said, I'm going to Z the other side as well. All right, guys. I'll give you a tech tip if you didn't know this. Has to do with the cutoffs. I don't know if it'll pick up in there, but you see that little notch? Oh, is there something I could stick this to? Anywho's. See this notch in here? Maybe, possibly, I don't know. That notch is so when you screw up flaring and not put your nut on, that notch is so that your tube can go in it. I gotta set up. So your tube can fit in that notch, and yeah, well, you can cut off your flare without losing, here, let's do this upward, without losing, line length. Pretty sure every tubing cutter has that. Because, hell, we all do it. There. Flare's cut off. Put that there. There's the bubble. Now it's hard to see. But yeah, it'll just cut off that end. So that when you reflare it and you make lines about the right length that you need, you don't really screw up and, well, have to do an entire new line section. Yep. Interesting known fact, this is the second one I've done today. Well, I forgot to put it on. I'll be back. All right, guys, status update. Well, I did something I said I wasn't going to do, but I did it anyway, just because, well, I can't leave stuff alone. My battery's going to die. Anyway, brake lines. They're done. I did daisy chain the front and the rear brake light switches. So power's going to feed the front one regardless. All I have is a jumper wire back there. So if, say, the back, you know, clicks on first, it'll send power. It doesn't matter which one. They're whatever gets power first or shuts the circuit first is going to kick on the brake lights. So they're just chair terminals. I don't know if you can see. Chair terminals in there and just a whoop whoop. Quick down and dirty harness. But this brake line ran, you know, and this one is set on the other side as well. So with that said, let's, I guess, get the beam. Oh, I have to transfer a couple things. That other beam does have a steering box, but it doesn't have the shaft for the coupler. So I got to rob the shaft for the coupler and transfer it onto the new beam. Because I'd rather do it out of the car than in the car. I mean, I'll do it either way. It doesn't matter. But it's out, so I'll do it out. Nice undercoating. Awesome. Or underspray. Didn't do that, but got to switch battery, drag the beam over here, and let's start plugging away with getting that thing in. I might stage it. It is getting quite late. These brakes, just doing this brake stuff, really took some time. Mainly fighting with fittings and lines, but it's okay. It is what it is. Put that over there. I'm gonna leave the reservoir, the OG reservoir up there. I could put a 67 reservoir up there and run the lines because they have the two lines out. I'm just opting for this because it's cleaner and, well, it's cleaner. Yeah, you should never have to add. Ooh, I'm resting on the stand and the stands keep going down. You really never should add to it. So, I mean, it's fine there. If you have a leak, well, at least it's consolidated. You don't have the lines. Only problem is, my bleeder don't work on it. My power bleeder. I don't have an adapter for that. Because certainly that's not a GM top. I don't even know where my GM adapter is. Good. Awesome. All right, let me drag that beam over here and I'll be back. All right, guys. Well, seeing how it's such... Did it really die finally? It did. Seeing how it's such a great time putting in the master cylinder. Old Backtrack Freddy's at it again. Yep, sure am. I have to remove the master cylinder because when I was rummaging through the supplied, you know, parts and stuff and whatever, there's a key thing that I noticed and completely disregarded. Right out the side, you know, right through the, in one ear, out the other. Noticed it when I painted the master, and, well, I should have caught it. I did not. This master is set up to run left side or right, left hand or right hand steering. So master on this side, master on that side. Well, obviously, probably to you, and maybe you'll see it or I'll see it editing. When I was going through the old box of hardware, I noticed these plugs. I was like, hey, why do I need those plugs? They're sending me 4. If I wasn't going to run a brake switch, okay, there's 1. But the other 3, no idea. I'm using all the ports. Till I saw the note. Yes, this master cylinder will fit both left and right-hand drive bugs and things and gears. The installer, yeah, that's me, unfortunately, must screw in and tighten the 4 supplied doobly-doos. Doesn't say doobly-doos, but you know what I'm getting at. So basically the thing don't leak or blow out the plugs on the other side because there's plugs on the other side. And I even said to myself, certainly I did not screw up that bad. Well, I could feel behind here and there's plugs on the other side. So let me uninstall this master. I got the lines off, so on and so forth. Drop the car, pull the master, put the plugs in, put the master back in, and then we'll get back to putting in the beam. Needless to say, this is going to take a minute, so it's probably going to be a tomorrow project. Yep, sounds about right. Crap. I'll be back. Well, tomorrow project for the beam, not for this. Because if it goes as long as it took me the first time, well, it's going to be a tomorrow project. I will be back. Development, always. Can't win. I can win at losing, I guess is what I'm saying. I have no idea what that was. Sounded like a Geo Metro trying to do a burnout. It's quite impressive noise. Real quick, if you're wondering what I was going on about, these ports. Not these ports that I'm using, these ports. I seen them, and I disregarded them. Also disregarded them because when I put them in the car, I didn't see them anymore. So yeah, plug those. Crap. I get these plugged, I'll be back. All right, guys, holes plugged. I did use a little Teflon here. You don't need to, they're NPT or pipe thread, but the way that this is going, I'm hoping I'm not going to get a leak. Anywho, back in the car. All right, guys, moving around. Did some off-camera progress. The steering coupler's on. Well, you can't see. Third steering coupler on. Not a big deal, not a big issue. You know, just take it from the old one, put it back on. There's a little notch that the bolt goes through. Make sure you have it aligned so it goes through, and it'll hold it in place. Took the passenger side lefty-righty stick off. Tie rod and steering dampener off. Other than that, that's pretty much all I did. Master cylinder's in. It actually went fairly smooth the second go. Usually, I don't know if you guys get it, but if you get into the weird dopey phase, like you're making careless mistakes that you normally know you wouldn't be making. Not saying that any mistake that I make I wouldn't make normally. I typically just walk away. Address it another day. Just so if I get a breather in, I might screw anything up. I hopefully won't screw anything up. I don't know if that makes any sense. All right. Spin this guy around. I don't have a great plan on what I'm doing currently. The plan is get it in the car, obviously. With that said, the method for how I'm dragging, sounds like, yep, vice grips. With that said, the method of how it's going to go into the car, not 100% on yet. That actually seems like it might work. Casually roll the teeter-totter express into position. New pads for the top. Like I said, the old one didn't have them, but we're going to put them on in this one. Hardware. This did come with new hardware. Well, not new, just different. Are they the same size? Yeah, we'll use the new supplied hardware. The old stuff looked fine. I just looked at it. But these threads seem cleaner. So what that says to me is hopefully it'll thread in easier. Now I am not going to clean the threads. Usually I clean the threads on everything I do. I am not on this one just for the sheer fact that, oh yeah, where the hell did they go? Side note, these things, I've been racking my brain on what the hell this thing is. All right, now I could be completely wrong. I was no idea who RL or SR Smith is. Googled it, did all that stuff. Thought it was a weird bump stop kit. You know, just the way it is. Well, it turns out that it is kind of slightly a bump stop kit because everything I was Googling was coming up for pool supplies. Didn't realize the packet was, well, taped in here nicely. Commercial diving board instructions. You ever work on something and one of your friends throws in a random nut and you don't know what the hell it goes to? That was kind of what my brain was like last night. Like, well, what the hell does this go to? Because the spacings looks like it will mount to the front of the beam. It doesn't fit. It's not the same size. Or not same spacing. Hardware doesn't work. It's square bolts. I already did that. So yeah, racking my brain on that one. Figured that one out. Because I was like, I have to tell the lovely people at YouTube how to install a beam. Something I've done, well, I'm not going to say countless amount of times, but enough times on this channel that I think I know how to put one of these stupid things in to come up with that. Probably going to have to do the same thing with this box. This box does seem bigger. Why I didn't do it when it was out of the car, I don't know. But good news, we're set up already. Loosen the box, rotate the box, drop it. Ooh, good rig. Just needed to give me enough rotation so I can get it into the car without hitting. I'm trying not to fully take this thing out. It's a dance. Oh, get off there. Damn it. All right, that should be about where it's going to live. Oh. Tight fit. I forgot the flashlight. Shit. Oh. I'm still going to have to come down some, but I can work on alignment. It doesn't have to come down by much, but I think we have a problem, because I need to go over. All right. A little bit more down. I'm gonna have to pry it up some. So I have to go up and in. Right now I'm trying to get it into the saddle. Now, legs are the 2 alignment holes here, or not even alignment holes, they're top mounts, the top beam mounts. We're having a failure to cooperate right now. That's sort of there. And I do not want to remove those access panels because I do not want to also open up more cans of worms. See where we're at with this bolt. If you guys have 2 people, it's definitely advised. Okay, that's butter. Nope, that's not butter. Yeah, 2 people is really the way to go with doing this thing. My problem is I'm all by myself. So I get to play with expensive cars by myself and not screw them up. All right, they're released in. Top holes look better by a lot. Let me just put this in for prosperity, but 2 bolts are in. Let's go up. Whew. All right. Progress being made, slowly but slowly. Ugh. Got those 2 in. Next, let's do these. Yes, I have the lock plates. I didn't put the lock plates on yet, just due to the fact that I wanted to get the beam starting to go in. Or starting to go where I need it to go, and then I'll take out the bottoms. This. Just want to get the load off of it so it can shift where it wants to. Without like falsely being guided into place. I got a battery somewhere. Tight. 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 Beam up. Locked into place. New shelf. I need to grab a Red Bull. We got home stretch. Got to connect steering, which should be easy, or easy enough, I'm hoping. Huh. Might have to modify that actually. But yeah, got steering to completely button up. So the box, driver or passenger side, put brakes on it and slam it on the ground. We should be good. Or at least that's the plan anyway. I'll be back. All right, guys, a little bit of a Texas pickle popped up. Huge gap. Huge gap between here and here. I took the bolt out already. For it to slide up, hold on, trying to do this one-handed. I also don't know if you can see. For that to slide up, there's almost no engagement on that thread or on the shaft. So, I'm gonna do the right thing and pull that box out. Whoop. Shove it in here. I knew it might have been a little bit, like, looking at the boxes, obviously, like I think I said, they're different. But I was hoping the throw, the shaft length, was going to be the same. Well, it's not. So let me switch boxes real quick. Drop the 15 or 17s, pull the box out. Same thing on that one. And, well, exchange the box and hopefully have a steering column to align. Could I lengthen the column? Yeah. Could I lengthen and weld that shaft? I've seen people weld that before, that coupler on. I'm not a fan because of usability and removability, especially if you get a little cattywampus sideways. You're going to put way too much stress on that rag joint. So let me swap that out. Good news is I noticed the pitman arm isn't tight, so that's a good thing. Even though they folded over the tightener jam nut. We'll go over to the front end, obviously, to make sure everything's right. But let me get this box swapped out. Bolts, take it out. Bolts, take it out. Put it in, put it in. I'll be right back with a new box in there, or newsed box in there, I guess. I'm an idiot. Yep, sure am. The old box is going in right now. New one's out, obviously. Old box is going in. And, well, there's going to be a gap again. And I'm like, self, why is there such a huge gap? There's no way the beam's bent that far forward. Should have checked it first, didn't. Steering column is, well, pushed backwards. Yeah, that's the thing. All right, so let me put the new box back in, put it all together, find out that it still doesn't fit, and then put the old box back in. But good news, the old box is out. The reason I'm doing that is the old box, it does leak a little. So, yeah. The old box is leaking. We'll just put the new one in. I know. I just did all this work to, well, undo all this work. It's fine. They come out easy. They go in easy. You know, do it 3 times, Dan. At your service, I guess. So, all right. And I should have known because I did push the column back. Usually they slide forward. This one's just hung up, so. If it's wrong, don't justify on how it's wrong. Or don't justify leaving something in place knowing it's wrong. Just fix it the right way. Like I said, they come out easy. They go in easy. So let me go back to what I was doing and put everything back to where it was. And yeah, join me where we were. Well, for you, what, 2 scenes ago? For me, about 15 minutes ago. Yep. We'll be amazed what happens when you actually put stuff together the right way. Gap's gone. I don't know if you're even looking at it. Get my arm up in here. Yeah. Nice and tight. Oh boy. All right, let's get those bolts in. We put new hardware in. But what a stupid setback. Let me grab some new bolts and nuts. All right, guys, steering column's bolted up. Need to attach, we'll reattach this tie rod. By reattach, just make sure it's tight, which they sort of were. Do I have my wrench, ratchet, what have you? because I don't need these to come off, obviously. That way some. Blink. That's in. Get the nut. Let's go on the other side and grab the, put the other side in. Drift angle. Get off there. Tie rod end. Boink. Hey, see, now we have the 17. Let's just run that on. Wrench, make sure it's tight. That torques down to 40 foot-pounds. I just like to double check. What I'm doing, I'm just walking left and right and trying to get, I don't know, an equal, say an equalness in the tie rods. Well, I mean, I don't want one side like fully extended. I don't want one side fully in, so I can get adjustment. So pretty much all I'm doing is eyeballing this. Left, right, left, right, left, right. For right now, that's what I'm doing anyway. This is a front mount caliper, which is fine, except, oh boy, turn. Where the hell does the thing go? Okay, I feel like an idiot. There we go. Oh, we are way, way too short. Even with me Zing that thing here. Tighten that, and here, I'll show you. This is one reason I Z'd that bracket. But you'll be able to tell it's not even touching the Z. You can barely see in there. But it's not touching the Z, and it's already hyperextended. Okay. So what am I going to use for brake lines? I think I can get away with using stock brake lines. See if the O'Reilly's has them in stock. Change the battery, and we'll go and get brake lines. Yeah, developments as always. You know, I usually drink NOS if you watch the channel long enough. This is my I don't know, once a week vice I like to give myself is a Red Bull, because I do like them. I just don't like paying the Red Bull tax. It's a thing. I haven't changed my memory card too. All right, let me do some research, try to find some brake lines, and yeah, get these things installed. Crap. I will be back. All right, I found a stupid funnel. By found, I mean I found a funnel and then had to put a stupid end on it, so that I will be able to fill this. Hopefully relatively easily. Yeah, I had one just for this. I might actually have to trim that down. I had one just for this, except now I don't know where it's at. Good news, if I make it too short, I'll just make it again. All right, guys, time to anger the internet with how I bleed brakes. If you noticed, oh, damn it. If you noticed, I did not bench bleed this master. I just threw it in. Also, I am starting at the driver front. I need my hood prop, because it doubles as a brake pedal pusher downer. The reason I do this is because I found that this is the easiest way for me to bleed brakes. As I almost bust my butt. Come on. There we go. All right. I didn't even realize I'm going to have to redo the steering wheel. Bubbles. Whee. Bubbles. 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 Making sure everything is dry so far, and it is. Go to the passenger side. Not bust my butt again. Move to the back side. Start pumping back here. Damn it. One. Did I leave it on the thing? Of course I did. All right, now let's bleed the front. Again, same way I've always bled them. Put weight on that. Pump the fronts again. Lots of air. These brakes, see what we got. Oh, firm pedal right away. Outstanding. Brake lights. Oop. I have 0 gauge lights in here. Brake lights work. Huh. Yeah, I don't got the idiot lights coming on in here. Not sure why, they worked before, but they don't now. All right, well, brakes are done. Oh no, we need 30 people to bleed brakes. No, you don't. You also don't need to start wherever you know, start kind of wherever the hell you want. Double check the master, but it should be fine. One thing I do want to do is I had limited drag on those rears. I want to adjust them if I can. And leave them alone if I can't. Turns left. Turns right. Straight, the wheel is completely upside down, so that's perfect. I'm curious if I can get lucky and just pull the wheel up 180 and put it back on. We're going to try to path the least resistance versus undoing a steering column. All right, guys, real quick. Everything buttoned up. Sway bars installed. I did go back and pump some grease into these fittings. As you can tell, red grease was starting to pop out. I run green. So front end's lubed. It was lubed or, you know, greased up whenever I got it. So that's good. Everything, like I said, is tight. I might move this bushing in some. Sticking out a little. Oh, there's a little bit more of a tail. I might move that, but I did check everything. Everything's tight. The whole front end's good. Should be fine. There's a little up and down slop in these kingpins. Oh, not anymore because I packed it with grease. But yeah, I think we're good with this. Everything clear. It looks sanitary. I'm happy with it. Still got to go back and put some drag in the rears. There's a little right there. But then nothing. So it has warped drums, which is, you know, it is what it is. This one, same thing. A little bit of drag, not much. How is that brake line functioning? I know exactly what happened here. See that hard 90? See how tight it is here? This thing has been towed a couple times. And I guarantee that because it's been towed, that's where, see this side's fine. That's where one of the tow hooks went. Didn't break the line, so that's a good thing. Well, that said, let me, I guess, button up this episode. We got the front end on. No, I am not going to put the wheels on it yet and drop it and see how low it sits and set ride height. Because we have engine work to do next. We got to pop this cover and clean it up. Because it, ooh, really close. It did not change any since I went to the body shop, nor since it left me last time. So fuel filter has to be removed, so on and so forth. Tune it up. Apparently it has a high idle. And we'll get this thing running good. It runs already good, but we'll go for a tune-up. And then we have to button up the passenger side door. Probably do that in one episode. And then take this thing for a rip. I got to string align this just to make sure it's, you know, going to go down the road quasi-straight. Doesn't have to be, you know, I can never remember which flashlight has what button where. Doesn't have to be amazingly straight. I just rather not burn tires off. So with that said, let me close this episode out. We did enough. This took way too long. I think I'm probably, with everything said and done, to get this beam in, I think I got about 6 hours into it, which really isn't that bad. It's kind of bad because, I mean, everything came assembled, but we had to fight some things. I had to fight some stuff. Realistically, master cylinder, doing that twice didn't take any time. It's probably 30 minutes for a second go, probably 45 for the first. Maybe not even, it's probably like 15 minutes for the second go. So non-issue. Having to tap the line or run a die down the lines to get them to thread, that took forever. What else? Steering box debacle, that was purely on me, because I'm an idiot. But yeah, I say relatively, if you take out my screw-ups and, you know, redo Freddy's, or do it again stands, probably about 5 hours. Like I said, I'm about 6 into it. Mainly, not so much because of you guys, but because of you guys too, talking. Cutting out and doing another side, you know, usually knock it out in about 10, 15 minutes. Coming over here, talking to you guys, or over there and talking to you guys take a bit. But it's not really a big deal. I don't care. I bill accordingly. I'm not going to bill the guy 18 hours to do this. But yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on the reservoir in here. I'll keep that light there. And make sure that those lines, everything doesn't start dripping as it is. That's from overfill. So let me clean off that master and make sure I get a good reading. But it is maxed out. We're good. Try to clean this up. Because I do not want a false reading. I'll throw another rag under here to make sure it doesn't get wet. Got no room. Anyway, let me close this out. I'm just rambling. I also got to edit this week's video, which surprisingly enough is not this. You've already seen it, most likely, if you watch this channel. What is it? Oh, it's that. It's like, I knew I had another car in here. Usually they're staged behind me. I'll be back. All right, guys. I was planning on showing this in the next episode, but I'll just show it now, seeing how it's pretty much something to do with the front end. Just doing the alignment. I got the light on already. They're alignment plates, toe plates. They don't do, you know, caster camber. I can do caster camber. There's actually a camber gauge right up here. It's like shaving in a mirror. Anyway, all they are, strap on, make sure they're level, make sure they're in line. If you're using, obviously, this style, they brace up, they square up. Also, you want to make sure you keep them nice because you don't want to bend them. Same thing on this side. They're reading the straight of the rotor. Run across. I had a flashlight, and like I said, you want to make sure your plate's level. Within 20, that's fine. Yep, it's 0 now. There you go. See, I had a level. Anyway, because when you change, you know, when you're changing your angle in and out of your toe setting, it's going to affect it. So that line's in line with that. Same thing on the other side, and then it's, you know, as far as centered. So as centered as possible, and as level as possible, so that whenever I do adjustments, you know, this arm's not all the way back, and I'm doing an adjustment, I'm getting a false reading. You want them in line with each other, obviously. Plus or minus, this isn't really scientific. But I did twist on these things a bit, and I don't know if you'll be able to see. We're 8 and a bit on this side, and 8 and a bit less on this side. So it's towed in just a scotch, which is perfectly fine. You can set them to 0, but I found, you know, well, I think factory spec is quarter or 1/8 in, something like that. So as long as it's towed in a bit, I'm fine with it. It'll run fine. Obviously, it's not giving me an exact alignment just due to the fact that, well, it's in the air, suspension, you know, is on droop, so on and so forth. Because it could change. Once it gets on the ground, I'll run string. I'll do a quick run string around it, make sure that that's square or, you know, towed either slightly in or, you know, flush, you know, 0. But this is just, like I said, this is just preliminary. Get this down so I can lock up and knock out this front end. Tighten all the jam nuts and call it good so I know it's not going to move. But with that said, I'll button up this episode. Let me set you up on the big cam. I had a burp. Set you up on a big cam and body mount shot. Set you up on a big cam and close this one out. All right, guys, closing out this episode on the 57. We're well, the beam installation and doing the brakes, all that stuff. Everything's fine. Brake pedal's good. Did a quasi alignment on it. At least set the toe. like I said, I do have the gauges and stuff to do the like gas for camber, so on and so forth. This would be a camber. It's not that far out. We're a little positive topside. We'll see what happens and what it does when it suspension gets settled. See if it goes negative over like 0.6 on this side, 1.2 on the other. So they're not that far out, but they are towed out or positive a bit. But as long as the toe's true, you're not going to notice it so much. And like I said, we are at its full droop of the suspension. This is just a preliminary set. What I do as far as the alignment goes, once I get all 4 wheels on the ground, roll it back and forth, see where everything settles, and double check it. I'll just do a string align. I also have alignment plates that sit on the side of the tire for like quick things. Kind of the same thing as I got, except mine, the bolt on, minus you can leave tires on, which really isn't ideal due to the fact that, well, trucks, great. You get under them. Buses, you get under them. These, you're kind of screwed. So, anywho's, next episode, we're going to be diving into the engine of this guy. Nothing major, runs good. The owner, like I think I've said it, he's been putting miles on it, so that's fine. He's just been doing basically the out of the body shop shakedown run on it. So he has a couple odds and ends. Good news is the electrical's solid, minus apparently the horn not working now, so that's good. Everything else is working, and he says he has a weird flasher issue. Starts off slow and speeds up. I'm thinking it's the flasher relay itself. That, and then we got to button up this door. I don't know if you can see between the posts. Someone attempted to, well, put seals in, or the seal in, and just stopped. So, end up buttoning that together. That shouldn't be that hard. And I think I do have a honey-do list in here. Easy. So much stuff on the rack. Yeah, horn. Oh, wipers, got to do, install them. There's noise in the rear, not sure. Got to do something with the heat. Adjust idle seems high. The beam, that's done. Door, wiring cover. Yeah, basically, hopefully next episode is going to be the last episode on this car. And we'll have it on the road. Oh, and adjust this door again, because apparently it popped open when I'm driving. And that's the last thing I need on a test drive for me, is having a door fling open. But anyway, if you like this episode, however, again, it turned out, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment if you do. I promise you we will chit-chat as always. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.